As some of you may know, amongst with a couple friends, I'm building a modular 3D VR synthesizer called Type 4. And as part of the ideation, considering this whole thing is going to be in VR, I figured that I may use one of the 3D VR apps in order to actually start building out in VR. Now, while I have a good amount of experience building things out in 3D kits, I figured how long would it take for me to actually model something in Blender as compared to Gravity Sketch. So the length of both of these turned out to be a little bit longer than expected, so I'm going to play the whole thing at double the speed. So as you can see within Blender, it's very easy to just type things out to get perfect precision. And in Gravity Sketch, on the other hand, things are somewhat intuitive, and it's wonderful to be actually take 3D content and animate it in 3D versus having the disconnect of a mouse, keyboard, and monitor. And obviously I'm not as familiar with Gravity Sketch, as you can see that I'm in Blender. Setting up an array, just removing several instances. Just one of the things that I like about hard surface modeling the most is just the ability to create so many shortcuts. Just type things in, set up modifiers, and use a variety of tools versus in Gravity Sketch, I noticed that it's a very static approach. You kind of get a one-to-one input and output. What you've put in is exactly what you're going to get out. Putting up a linear drive shaft in order to manipulate parametric values within Unity. And in Gravity Sketch, still choosing colors. In Blender, I haven't gotten the chance to do that yet. And things are not very usable in a 3D program. I mean, obviously, something like this is. You could see that it's maybe good to convey an idea, and may even be better than Blender to convey that idea. But in terms of creating a usable asset within Unity, it will still has a ways to go in order to output a hard surface model. You've probably seen some amazing things that have been done with programs like this as any 3D kits. This is probably not one of them, but it's not meant to be, and then that's fine the way that it is. This is kind of an experiment that I'm trying to put together in terms of just sketching out concepts for 3D UI. Make it a one-to-one experience. So clearly we're done here on the Blender side, but I am gonna go somewhere else here in Gravity Sketch, and that'll show off that it's not a, there we are, it's not a winner takes all. This is not quite a zero-sum game. Showing some stuff off and just being able to wave things around becomes an easier process to design and just to allow creativity to take hold. Let the flight of fancy take over. You can set up different cables and setting up different patches that would go someplace else. And doing things like that in Blender is very precise, but it's more constricted, more mathematical, if you will, more exact. And that's that. So that was the screen cap of the two. You know, obviously, like I said, this is all double the speed. The gravity sketch taps out at 10 minutes and 36 seconds. At Blender, we have 6 minutes and 49 seconds. So now that we have both, let's just see how both the concept and the model will work out within Unity. Before we actually get to watching the scene, let's just take a look on what we imported. Here is the model that we got from Blender. Most of the magic here is taken from the shader here and some parameters and lights. And this is an extruded tube using DreamTech splines. So I guess the production assets were very useful to make in a traditional 3D kit like Blender, but a lot of the ideation and experiments actually came in quite handy via a VR modeling tool such as Gravity Sketch. Let's see it in action.